Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. We're back after a week-long hiatus and we're back for some decent action on the weekend. The Ayr Gold Cup, a competitive handicap that everyone wants to try and find the winner in. We're going to get stuck into that, as well as the Reef Stakes over at Newbury. It's a good weekend's action. It's just me and Harry on this evening. Harry, it's great to see you as always. And you know, it's not just any other Tuesday. It's a Tuesday where we talk about the horses, talk about a certain Constitution Hill in time as well. But yeah, no, it's a good week. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad, my friend. How are you?
Ah, stunning form. As you can see by the lovely setup behind me.
He's back. He's back at uni.
I think this must be like the seventh or eighth new room of setups that I've had on videos. And this is my university bedroom. As you can see, I've decorated it really well over here. And I've got JP McManus scarf, and that is a saddlecloth of Biker from the Boodles, his pre-race.
How on earth have you got that?
Here's a story for you. I was obviously, you know, after the Boodles, walk into the parade ring. I see this pink thing on the floor. I'm like, well, what's this? Pick it up, number 5. I'm like, that's Biker. That horse just been beaten. I've backed it. It's finished second in the Boodles.
That's crazy.
And I've gone around, you know, I've gone and tried to find big Charlie Burns and be like, oh, would you like this back? I just can't see him anywhere. So
you didn't have it off, so he wasn't there.
Yeah, so as you were. And no, so I just thought, well, you know, no one else is going to really want this, are they? So and it was only the pre-race one. It's not the actual race one. It's the one that you just wear in the pre-parade. So I just put it in the long coat, and it's now been a staple in my bedroom. So there you go. Nice little pink number in there. Wouldn't you know?
The jockey club were knocking on your door saying, "Can we have Biker's saddlecloth back, please?"
Please don't lock me up. No, we're in good form, in flying form, and we're going to be looking ahead to some decent racing, of course, on the weekend. The first topic we will go to is the big one, I suppose, that everyone's talking about. Constitution Hill staying over hurdles this season, announced by Nicky Henderson on Twitter and through the Racing Post and through the PA and through Nick Luck Daily and all the different accounts. He's staying over hurdles this season. A mixed reaction to say on Twitter. Harry, Constitution over hurdles. What do you make of it?
Well, what I make of him is I think he has the potential to be one of the best horses over hurdles that we've ever seen. I mean, we are in the grace of a superstar, and I just think that the connections are always going to do what's right for the horse. He has the champion hurdle wrapped up, and it's so good to see. I mean, I was listening to Nick Luck, and he was saying about how he was mentioning to Henry Cecil about Frankel, saying trying to prod him to go to like the Derby, etc. But I mean, why Bide for the Arc? There's no need. There's no. These horses are superstars in their own right. Now he might turn out to be. He could have been one of the best chasers and a Gold Cup hero and emulate Dawn Run. However, every single year on the Tuesday, for the next few years, people are going to be going there to see Constitution Hill win and defend his crown. It's like he is the champion. Come and get me if you can. Knock me off my throne. And obviously, with the news that Impere Pass and Stateman, who he's already beaten, they are both staying over hurdles. That just throws a little bit of spice in the ring as well. And, you know, I am absolutely buzzing for it. There's Cheltenham. Cheltenham was trending on Twitter today as we talk on Tuesday. It was trending, and we've not even had Champions Day. But I'm interested to see what you thought. We were talking off camera. We were saying, would he have stayed? We don't know. No one really knows, do they? But it's a little bit of a shame, isn't it?
I suppose, you know, the only real sort of area that knows if Constitution Hill stays is the Constitution Hill himself, you know, the engine within him. I suppose we get to see him, and that's the main thing. We still get to see him. We'll see him over hurdles. He'll be amazing. He'll go off, you know, 1-16 and beating some of these horses on the way to champion hurdle. And then, like you said, the champion hurdle, Imperi Pass, Stateman, Zarat the Brave, who will be obviously the winner of the champion hurdle in 2024. It'll be a fantastic race. It'll be a fantastic race, and look, we can look forward to that.
Didn't you put that horse up at 25?
I did, and I think the anti-post slip has just about made it to a recycling bin. But
I did tell you that. I did tell you this.
I was kind of hoping that Imperi Pass would go over fences and maybe State Man as well, and Constitution Hill maybe just have a year off just to let people go. But no, look,
on that though, that is interesting because Willie's already playing his cards early. And he never does that. He never says which way one's going to go. And El Fabiolo going over fences, even though we kind of knew that anyway. But Imperi Pass, I thought they'd have split them up. But
no, he's a fantastic jumper of a hurdle. In fairness, Imperi Pass, he's very, very good, and he comes from that sort of French side of things. So I suppose the romanticist in me is that the word? I absolutely I would have loved to see him over a fence. I really would have. And look, there's nothing to say. I know it says for the foreseeable future over hurdles, but you'd like to in a situation where he'd win 2 champion hurdles and then go on to win a Queen Mother or something like that. That would be. I'd love that. And I suppose in this sport where we sometimes fall into the trap of not having these big clashes or these big events, and we end up going for the sort of not sensible option, but we go for the predictable option kind of thing. And it was Constitution Hill going to the Irish Champion Hurdle when Honeysuckle was there for the Punchestown Champion Hurdle. We all wanted that to happen. I really wanted that to happen. It didn't happen. Everyone said, "Oh, we'll wait till the Champion Hurdle next year," and it didn't end up happening. All these different, like Baid for the Arc, I'd love to see him go to the Arc kind of thing. Like I suppose with these situations, you just like to see it. And they lose nothing in defeat if something like that happened. You can always come back. And I feel like we maybe just don't try. Look, connections have their horses. It's their decision ultimately, and they know what's best. But I don't know. I'd like to have seen it. I'd like to see the boat pushed out. But at the end of the day, he's sent over hurdles. We get to see him. Well, I'll get to see him a couple of times in Cheltenham this year. So that'll be nice for all. And anyway, we'll talk about the jump. So it's a fantastic time to be alive.
It is. It is.
It's a fantastic time, Harry. We will go back to the flat. My inner Tony Carroll heritage.
We'll go from the champion hurdle to the Firth of Clyde.
You are bang on there. Yeah, the action from Ayr and from Newbury this weekend. We'll go to Ayr first of all for the Group 3 Firth of Clyde Stakes. Topping the market is a very interesting horse of Owen Burrows'. I'm going to go with Rakia. I'm going to go for 8 to 13. Jim Crowley booked on board already. Air Force Indy in there at 4 to 1 for Carlbert Clifford Lee. Great Generation, Marco Botti 9 to 2. Bigger prices about the rest. Short price Fav here, Harry. 8 to 13. Will you be with the Fav or against the Fav in the Firth of Clyde for fillies?
Do you know? I'm not shocked by the price. Obviously, she was very good. Last time out, obviously at Haydock, Salisbury, beaten on debut. But she's done nothing wrong to suggest that she shouldn't warrant that price. However, in these sorts of races, these 2-year-olds, end of the season, the rain's going to be pouring down. If you just look at the forecast for Ayr over the next few days, you'd be kind of thinking 8 to 13 skinny enough. I've actually come down on Imperiality for Holly Doyle and Archie Watson. Holly's already booked up, and this was a really good winner last time out. Both of her first 2 runs were on good to firm ground, and then she got a little bit of ease at Haydock with a step up in trip to 6, and she loved it. She grabbed that near side rail and she fairly bolted in, to be fair, and I was taken by it. So I just think that she looks like a filly on the up. She's got plenty to do at the weights, it seems, on official ratings. She's been given an opening mark of 82. So if she's been pitched in to Group 3, you'd have kind of been thinking, why didn't they go for a handicap with her? Especially if you can mop up one, if they think she's as good as what she is. But the rain's going to help her. So I think 8 to 13 is skinny about the favourite. Wouldn't be diving into that. So I think Imperiality's got a decent chance.
Yeah, I'd also be taking on the Fav, and similar price here. I viewed Nevada Island. I have a big fancy for this one. I'm a huge fan. Very interesting filly for Michael O'Callaghan if she goes. Fingers crossed, connections do decide to declare her. But on debut, she finished second to Porta Fortuna in a Group 3. Arguably should have won the race. She had a tough route through, whereas Porta Fortuna sort of had first run on her and ended up winning by just, I think, a neck. Pulled 4 lengths clear of the third launch, and Porta Fortuna's gone on to win a Group 3 at Royal Ascot, finished second in the Phoenix, then third in the Moyglare. So that form works out really well. Then disappointed at Royal Ascot on rattling ground, and then didn't fully see out the 7.5 next time out, 7.5 furlongs next time out at the Curragh. Was a good run, but just didn't fully see out the 7.5 furlongs. Then went to the Curragh, and won it really, really convincingly. She's Quality was in second, Jack Davidson horse. He's gone on to win nicely in the Sandown Maiden next time out, and then run well in the Moyglare as well. Let's be frank about it, was in third. That's gone to win the Group 3 round tower stakes, next time out, beating the Glorious Goodwood winner, Mansa Musa, who's a very nice winner at Glorious Goodwood. So it's all on collateral form. It's working out quite nicely. Has yet to race on soft ground, but a Territories, usually Territories horses do end up acting all right on soft. For example, Aldari, Huyamau, Rougier, they're all like a bit of dig in the ground. There's a half sister to Lazoo as well. Lazoo likes that sort of quicker service, but she is by Zoostar. You buy Territories here, so hopefully that soft ground element comes into it. And her dam actually won the Firth of Clyde back in 2011, Roger says. It could be a bit of family heritage there for Navassa Island. I think she's got a fantastic chance. I've dribbled on there quite extensively because there's a lot to talk about with her chances. But I really like Navassa Island here.
I think she's already shown herself as a pretty hardy filly. I mean, I made the case, and many others also think the same way. I don't really like horses going from 6 to 7. I think when they're taking on these established 7 furlong horses, and you've already you've ran well over 6, it's a tough thing to do. Because these 7 furlong horses more than likely get further in time. And you're thinking a 6 furlong horse is probably just reaching its end of its tenure going into the final set. And she was only beaten 2 lengths over 7.5. So I think that was a monster run. And she's then come out and won. Undoubtedly, she'd have probably had a hard race in July, and then obviously came out and won. So it was between the two for me, Navassa Island and Imperiality. So I'm glad that you've actually put one up that I did kind of like as well. But
I think
2 against the favourite.
Yeah, 2 against the 5. I think it's interesting they pitched her into a Group 3 first time out. I think it's really interesting they did that, and I think she's got a great chance. And look, the Dam. I think it's fantastic. The Dam won this race in 2011. So 12 years on, could her offspring be going and winning it in 2023? Fingers crossed for me, anyway. The Ayr Gold Cup, the big handicap on the weekend to talk about. Had some nice wins in the past. I remember Bielsa winning it a couple of years back now. Bielsa is in the race and is a short enough price to do so. But topping the market as my Racing Post loads up very slowly is Orazio, 8-1, a bit of a cliff horse of mine. Will I be with him again? Significantly 10-1, having finished second to Anaf at Doncaster last time out. Ali's Dancer, 12, Summer Gahand, 12s, Bielsa there, 14s. Same price, Juan Le Pan. Harry, Ayr Gold Cup. You must have a fancy in this. Big handicap, lots of runners, big prizes.
Do you know what? It's one of those that you could make cases for every single one of these if they all got a run. Orazio just sticks out, really. I mean, that horse, it was just a winner waiting to happen, wasn't it? I mean, Royal Ascot was just every man in his dog was on this horse. I mean, smashed in from what price did you put it up? 16s or something?
Yeah, something around the 10s, I think.
Yeah, always.
When I saw it trading at something like 3.5 on the exchanges, I was like, how does this thing get beat? It's already won, hasn't it?
It's just ridiculous. 7-2 favourite. Then disappointed at Goodwood, but I mean, so many horses on Stewards Cup Day, they disappointed because that ground was attritional. And if I'm right in saying, was that the race, the day where racing was actually abandoned?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just you're best off just reading the thing. The trainer's rep said that the horse was unsuited by the going, which was described as heavy, and he probably wanted a quicker service. Well, a quicker service, yes, but I mean, he's a winner on soft ground.
I'd say it's a bit of Goldilocks going on here. It was too quick at Ascot. It was too slow at Goodwood. Exactly. Hopefully this weekend can be just right,
I've dropped another pound. Right, this time it's ready. Listen, 4-year-old rated 101 having to carry 909, it'll be a tough ask. But if you force me, I would be siding with Orazio. Summergand just keeps on running well. Ran so well at the Curragh last time out. Obviously, on his penultimate start, he actually won at York. Another big pop for this horse. This horse just loves his racing. You try and show me another horse that loves his racing as much as Summergand does, because he's out every weekend.
It's Boom the Groom. Boom the Groom's the one that loves his racing more.
Yeah, but there's so many horses like it. Boom the Groom's. I mean, how old's Boom the Groom now?
He's 12 and he's just on a double. Absolute legend of the
It's just ridiculous. These animal welfare clowns, and they're coming around saying that these horses shouldn't be racing. Well, you go to a yard and see Summergand biting his stable, saying, "Let me out. I want to go to Ayr or Ripon or wherever it is." But yeah, Orazio for me, Ash. But I think Summergand is going to be dangerous.
Yeah. I think Orazio is going to be dangerous, and it's the first time in 3 that I'm not going to be putting Orazio up, unfortunately, and it's going to be probably the time that he goes and wins. But he will be on the shortlist, and he probably will be in the bet slip as well. But the horse I want to be with here, bit of a bigger price, 14-1. I want to be with Rohan. I think Rohan's got a good chance here.
It's another cliff horse of yours.
Slightly. Look, first of all, he's officially wrong at the weights by £4. He's rated 100, but obviously with the early closing nature of this race, having run twice at Newcastle and Haydock, he's now down to a mark of 100. But when the entries were done, he was rated 104. So that is a bit of a negative to start things off. But I still think off 104, he's got an absolutely belting chance. Like, this is a horse who was running in Group 1s, Group 2s, Group 3s all last season. And he loves a bit of dig as well. He's won on heavy before. He's won on soft ground as well. He hasn't been in the best of form. If you look through his sort of form book, it's not looking amazing, but you have to remember he did the same before he won his Wokingham last year. His form book wasn't looking amazing, and he's gone and won a Wokingham really, really nicely. I think he's by far, I'd say, the classiest horse in this race. And sometimes, we've seen it recently. You just got to be with these classy horses in handicaps. Who was the one for Hillsy? Ancient Rome.
Ancient Rome, Equilateral, one at York.
Yeah. Like, these classy horses, just like in handicaps, they do well, and I think he is a massively classy horse. So Rohan for me, I'll be with, but I do like the case for Orazio. Of course, I have to with the fact I actually backed the horse quite heavily the last 2 times. Hopefully he can maybe win back a bit of that money. We'll fly then, Harry, over to Newbury. Mill Reef Day for them. We'll quickly touch on the Group 3 World Trophy Stakes. Nice contest this. 3-year-olds or above, 5 furlongs. Sense of Duty for William Haggis, Tom Marcon topping the market at 7-4. Anaf in there at 4s, having won Doncaster. What race was it? The Portlands. Rousel 5-1. Emiratiana 8. Equilateral 10s. What do you fancy, Harry?
Oh, look, I mean, Sense of Duty's been off for over a year. She was a course winner over 6. Back in 2021, and what she's shown on the course has just been remarkable. However, 455 days off, and you've got to think then you've got to get a sprinter ready against seasoned horses. I think it's going to be tough to do. So I would be taking her off. Anaf obviously ran well 7 days ago. That horse won again for Mick Appleby. Popped up at quite a big price, actually. Emiratiana is the one that I would side with. However, just the ground, I just don't think the horse will go. This horse needs good ground. And everywhere, it's already good to soft, and it's been pissing down up and down the country all week. So it's a race that I don't really care about, Ash, to be fair.
Don't really care. No, so it's you're slightly siding towards Emiratiana, but
I would do. I think the horse is very classy. 7-year-old, still in training.
You're just a touch worried about the ground.
Just worried about the ground, but I mean, he's won nearly £750,000. So yeah. He's pretty hardy. So yeah, class gets you through sometimes.
It does. I'll give you a horse who does like this soft conditions. Nymphadora, the 4-year-old filly in here. I think she's got a great chance. I think she's been great all season. When she won at Chester, start of the season, beating Kings Lynn, I thought she was really classy that day. Ran to an RPR of 107. Then has won since at York on good soft ground over 5. Ran to an RPR of 111, beating Silky Wilkie, who's just been chinned in the Beverley Bullet. I think soft ground is key 5 furlongs is key. She's a really, really good horse. I think in a race like this, getting £4 and £3 from the geldings, I think that does her in good stead. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Nymphadora, 14-1. I think that's massively overpriced. And look,
this race could cut up, Ash. I mean, this race could seriously cut up.
Yeah,
I mean, Anaf doesn't go. Emirati Anna, I'd say probably won't go. Dramatized. I mean, that horse has just not shown anything really since
she probably wants a bit of dig in the ground, doesn't she? Well, dramatized.
I was going to say
a bit of good ground. Sorry, a bit of good ground. She wants a bit.
But then, like you're looking 14-1 about Nymphadora, who will love the ground.
Yeah, she will.
Actually, it's pretty shrewd selection from you, that is, because that is a Jack Dorling selection if I've ever seen one. That is a Jack Dorling selection if I've ever seen one. That'll be crashed in.
Shrudy, you know me, Harry. You know me long enough. Absolutely, Shrudy I am. Final race we'll cover. This is a short and sweet episode, Harry. I like this. I've got some pasta waiting for me downstairs, so I'm looking forward to that. The Group 2 Mill Reef Stakes. Very interesting contest, this, as to sort of a couple of progressing types against sort of established 2-year-olds. One of those established 2-year-olds would be Elite Status, 3-1, obviously burst onto everyone's agenda at Sandown and absolutely bolting up, and then finished third at Royal Ascot, won at Deauville since. Lake Forest has been a nice progressive type for William Haggis, won at big odds at York last time out, 4-1. What am I going? Eben Shaddad for John Grady Gosden, just the one run, 6-1, pronunciations galore, Mr. Sketch 6s as well. Harry, you like one of these progressive types in here, don't you? And
yeah, Mr. Sketch, Ash, for me in this. Last seen absolutely dotting up at Salisbury, and it probably wasn't the strongest novice in the world. However, and there was a few that were very green in behind, but this horse, he won as an 8-13 shot, should win. As I like to see that, when a horse's knuckles down, got a bit of class about him, and I mean he was quick. He was quick on the clock. I'm not one personally for the clocks and all that. However, I did see that his performance.
You wouldn't know what button to press on a stopwatch.
I know, yeah. I'm literally like that. I try and pressing it, and I'm like, why does it say 2 minutes? And but no, obviously holds this entry. Looks like the horse is going to be going. He certainly deserves his place. He's got a big frame about him. So he's certainly nippy as well. So yeah, for me, Mr. Sketch is the one. Just listen to Nick Luck's daily podcast as well. He was mentioning that Eve Johnson Horton. If I'm right in saying, don't quote me if I'm wrong. But there, Eve Johnson. This is the one that's being unleashed. So yeah, Mr. Sketch for me in the Mill Reef. For Eve Johnson, whose sprinters are flying. They always have been last few years. And that's really how she's been making a name. Obviously, we've seen I can't think of the 2-year-old winner that beat Hartum at Epsom. Shout me out because you put it up.
Bobsleigh.
Well, that was that was one of the first weekends of the flat scene, and that horse bolted him. Yeah, Elite Status, decent horse. Don't get me wrong. Proper group horse, hardy. Lake Forest. I know. And you're going to give a nice mention to that horse. Hartem will light the ground. That's one thing for sure. Array will light the ground, but that horse disappointed me last time. And there's another horse in there, 7 questions, who I can't believe you're not putting this horse up, but I'll let you fire away with Lake Forest.
7 questions just was a misery compiler the day that got beaten at Kempton. I'd hiked it to Ascot thinking Gallant Lion was going to win. This was going to be Tony Carroll's big day in the sun on a big ITV day, and Gallant Lion goes and gets beaten at Ascot. I turn over to the big screen. Oh, what's that? 7 questions is running. Oh, the horse I put up. Oh, it's drifted from 4-1 out to 11s. Oh, I'll have a bit more on, shall I? And then it goes and gets chinned and finishes second. Could not believe it. I was absolutely gutted there. Yeah, look, I think there's a few interesting. I don't think it's the greatest renewal in the world by any stretch. I think there's some interesting types in there that you could feasibly make a case for. I think Harlow Emirati is the horse to beat Big Evs at the start of the season. I think Harlow Emirati does want a bit of better ground. Hartem, I suppose, on collateral form, that form works out really well, beating Iberian last time out. 2 starts ago, I should say. Iberian's absolutely sluiced up since, and a really, really nice horse for Charlie Hills. I said that day that I think Iberian ended up turning up into the better horse, and I think with a better run, Iberian would have won that day. I got a bit of flack for that on Twitter, but I think I might be correct in the end. But no, I think the one is Lake Forest. Looking at York when the whole sort of Yorkie ball meeting, I was a big fan of Lake Forest's win. I thought he was really, really good. He just showed a ooze class, I thought. Really, really oozed it, sort of like right around the outside. You got the Aidan O'Brien shot there, Johannes Brahms, who looks like the winner, and then Lake Forest just comes straight by. And I think the first three of them finished quite, up near the front end, but then it's sort of good three lengths back to the fourth of Action Point, which just slightly suggests that those three horses are very decent ones. And Lake Forest was the one to get out on top. The question mark would be ground like No Nay Never isn't maybe one that would scream soft ground, but I don't know. I'd say like there's nothing to suggest that he can't go on soft ground. And I give him a good chance. I've been a bit wishy-washy in my words there, but Lake Forest 4-1. I'll be with that. I thought he was my big eye catcher, big one I want to be with next time out at York when he won last time out. So that'll be one for me. Harry, any other bets / naps? Anything else on the weekend you fancy? If not, what's your best bet?
I will stick with Newbury, the final, the Mill Reef Stakes. My best bet of the weekend so far is Mr. Sketch. So currently that is the nap. I've really like the way this horse went about his job, and 6-1 seems pretty fair for a horse who's just going to get better and better. But the only thing is, this is a pretty. I mean, the elite status brings the form in, doesn't he? And Lake Forest, your selection looks pretty tidy as well. Pretty brave race to be putting up a nap. But yeah, I'll be sticking with Mr. Sketch at 6-1 for Eve Johnson Horton.
With the faith of Nick Luck Daly, your nap is in for that race.
In Nick, we have luck.
Very good. One of the better ones of yours. Doesn't take much. I'd be with. Who would I be with? I reckon I'm going to be in Navassa Island in the Firth of Clyde. Personally, I think she's got a fantastic chance. Basically, on my Word document, she's the one I've wrote the most about, and it's not even close. It's about half a page on Navassa Island, and the rest is just a couple of lines here and there. I got carried away with Navassa Island. 10-1's a big price. Michael O'Callaghan and connections, please declare her, because I think you could be sweeping up a nice prize there. That is all we've got time for. Absolutely wrapped up in
brilliant.
That's
brilliant.
Absolutely stunning work. Now, if you did enjoy, please do like, subscribe. We're getting very much closer to the jumps action. You can see the silks here. They like jumps, and we like them as well. So we'll be back with the jumps action very soon. But we're kicking on with this as well. Decent flat action coming up. So make sure to like, subscribe. 10:30 a.m. on Saturday on Twitter. See our finalised fancies for the Saturday live. If you did enjoy, please do like, subscribe. Follow us on the Twitters shown on screen.
Mine's not on there. But
is it not? Oh my God. We're going to restart the video on that.
We got so far. I've just ruined it. We got so far. But no, it's been a pleasure, Ash, and we'll be there on Saturday. Lee won't be here on the live on Saturday morning. I think he's pretty tied up. But he'll be back, as he always is, firing in those winners. And we've got plenty of exciting stuff coming up. So make sure you do stay tuned. And Only Fools of Horses. It's going to be a big season coming up, especially in the National Tour.
Just subscribe.
It doesn't take long, does it?
It doesn't. It's just that one red button there on the screen, isn't it? And then there's one next to it as well. It's like just click that as well. May as well.
And just leave me a hate comment, because I love replying to them. But no,
Harry,
your comments are lovely.
You do well enough on the videos to get them in. So there's people thinking about you. So that's the main thing. No, exactly. We'll be back 10:30 a.m. On Saturday to Saturday Live. If you're having a bet, please do gamble responsibly. Thank you very much. And we'll see you very, very soon.